Listening and watching from the Book of Truth, from God's Word in Psalms 39, verse 1 to 13. Verse 1. I said, I will guard my ways, lest I sin with my tongue. I will restrain my mouth with a muzzle, while the wicked are before me. Verse 2. I was mute with silence. I held my peace even from good, and my sorrow was stirred up. Verse 3. My heart was hot within me while I was musing. The fire burned, then I spoke with my tongue. Psalms 39 verse 1 to 3 that I mentioned. The singer describes his experience of watching carefully over what he says in the presence of the wicked. After a while, he could not longer contain himself. He is probably concerned with what he might say about in his suffering, perhaps blaming God, but the faithful know they need to say something, and worship is the way to do it. Verse 4. Lord, make me to know my end, and what is the measure of my days, that I may know how frail I am. Verse 5. Indeed, you have made my days as handbreadths, and my age is as nothing before you. Certainly, every man at his best state is but vapor. Verse 6. Surely every man walks about like a shadow. Surely they busy themselves in vain. He heaps up riches and does not know who will gather them. Psalms 39 verse 4 to 6 that I mentioned is all about fleeting life. The singer's praise to know his end and how fleeting he is. He gave the example of brevity of human life. To really know this would protect they from wasting his life in turmoil that results when one heaps up wealth. They truly is a wiser way to live. Verse 7. And now, Lord, what do I wait for? My hope is in you. Verse 8. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Do not make me the reproach of the foolish. Verse 9. I was mute. I did not open my mouth because it was you who did it. Verse 10. Remove your plaque from me, and I'm consumed by the blow of your hand. Verse 11. When it rebukes you, correct man for iniquity. You make his beauty melt away like a moth. Surely every man is vapor. Verse 12. Hear my prayer, O Lord, and give ear to my cry. Do not be silent at my tears, for I am stranger with you, a sojourner, as all my fathers were. Verse 13. Remove your gaze from me, that I may regain strength before I go away and am no more. Psalms 39, verse 7 to 13, that I mention of these verses. It's all about requests for forgiveness and relief, being sure the circumstances come from God. The singer declares his hope in God ask God to deliver him from all his transgressions, and furthermore, to take away the discipline. That's the Lord. So the act of making such as a request is a frank admission that he has sinned and deserves God's rebuke for sin. It is also takes to heart and to lesson prayed for in that mentioned earlier in verse 4 to 6. Another thing and verse 5b, Sojourner stresses his temporary residence in this life. And also use in Job chapter 14 verse 6. He says, look away from him that he may rest, till like a hard man he finishes his day. In that verse, here does not mean that he wants God to cease caring for him. Rather, he asks God to turn away his angry gaze. That mentioned in the word from Psalms 39. Thank you for watching and listening. God's Word. Always keep in our mind, in our heart, even in our thoughts, even in our daily walk in life.